This is the Microsoft Access hands-on project. There will be 3 files to download: the database file, Microsoft Access, an Excel file, and a Word doc with instructions. So I printed out the instructions, and this is the database file. There is absolutely nothing in it. So you're going to be asked to create some tables. So let's go ahead and do that. Table design, and you start with a kind of a blank slate here, if you will. And databases, you know, you have to create the database, the fields, the container that holds the data. And you're given this information. You're asked to create a customers table and add customer ID, company, and first name, and make sure customer ID is the primary key field. And then you're asked to add some additional fields: last name, zip, state, city, and so forth. And then you can hand key in data. So I've done that for you. I just wanted to show you this is how you start, create table and by design view. But this is what it looks like after you create it. Customers. And let's change the view to design view. So here it is with the field names and the data types, right? And then after I do that, I change the view to data sheet, and I can actually key in the information. I've created the field in the table to hold the information, and then I key it in. That's kind of a 2-step process, right? And then the next one is actually a table that you get from external data source from that Excel file. And the way you do that is you go to external data, new data source from file. In this case, you know, it's an Excel file, so you choose that. And if you saved it on your desktop, you'll go there and look for it. So here it is, loans. So I'll go ahead and go through the import process so you can see it. That's okay. You pretty much accept the defaults. You make sure the first row is the column headings. That looks good. Everything's parsed properly. And you make sure you choose the primary key of loan ID, and it does by default anyway. And they call it loans. I'm going to call it loans 2 so I don't overwrite what's in there. And you can see it. Now I'm going to open it up, and you're going to see a couple things here that are interesting. One is the interest rate is rather large. Let's make it a little wider. There you go. Well, that's not helpful. So what you have to do, going back to the home ribbon and view, go back to design view, is we need to go to the field properties of interest rate. Notice by default it's double, and what you'll be doing is changing it to %. Where is it? No, you know, I grabbed the wrong one there. Oops, hold on. What I meant is format. I'm changing the format. Double's okay. Format has to be %. Actually, these instructions tell you that. Interest rate format to %, but the customer ID, that one comes across as double, and that's a large number. We need to reduce that back down to long integer, and those are 2 things. That's in step 6 that you're asked to do. Interest rate goes to a formatted %, and customer ID goes from double to long integer. If you change the view, it'll ask you to save it and give you a chance to do that. Don't worry about loss of information. And now you see interest rate is recognizable, and customer ID, I know it looks the same, but it's in the right data format for the relationship we're going to do in a minute. So let's close this one out and open up. Let's delete it from here. We don't need it. Yes, that can go away. Here it is, loans. And I'm going to change to the design view so you can see the interest rate is indeed %, and customer ID is long integer. So now I need to make a relationship between these 2 tables, and to do that I really need to close them first. I've created them and saved them, but I'm going to close them. I'm going to choose the database tools on the ribbon, click on relationship, and I need to see the tables before I add them, right? So I'm just going to click on add, select them, and add. All right, and I'm going to simply drag customer ID to customer ID and enforce referential integrity. Now the reason this works is because customer ID is long integer field type in both tables, right? And if you get an error when you do this, go back and check step 6 to make sure you have the right data type. I'm going to go ahead and save it and then close it out. Now we're ready to do kind of a complex thing here. We're going to do a query, all right, just a view of this information using two tables. So query design, I want to add both tables to this. There we go. Notice the relationship is still there. And I simply double click on the fields I want. And the instructions tell you to pick company, loan ID, amount, interest rate, term, and loan class. All right. And sort by loan ID and ascending. So there's a row here called sort, and I'm going to look for loan ID. I'm going to pick ascending. I'm just going to run it to see how it looks. Okay. And this is information now from two different tables. That's kind of slick. So I'm going to go back to design view, because the next step, okay, I need to save this too. Save this and call it loan payments. All right, notice this will change up here when I do that. All right, loan payments. The next step, step 9, and this will be the last one I do for you, because these are the most complex parts of this hands-on project, is to make a calculated field right here, right? And I need to use the builder for this. So let's go ahead and do that. And I need built-in function financial payment. All right, so let's start with that. So it wants the rate. These are placeholders, right? So it wants the rate. I'm going to get that from interest rate right there. Let's see. All right, there we go. I got to double click to put that in there. And what's the number of periods? And that would be term. And then the present value, I'm just highlighting these placeholders and replacing it with the amount. And I believe, let me look at the instructions, I believe I should payment. Okay, I'm going to leave zeros in here. Okay, and put a 0 in here too. And I think I lost my parentheses, so I'm going to put that back. What I need to do is make this a calculated field, so I need to give it a name, and the name is called payment, colon, all right? And we can delete this, bring this back around so that looks right. Payment function takes the interest rate, the term, the length, and the amount, and does a calculation. Let's see, what else do I need to do to this? Payment. Okay, so there's a few more things we need to do. Under interest rate, I believe they're given to you as annual, so I need to divide that by 12. And term, after the close bracket, I need to multiply that by 12. So that's times 12. And let's run that and see what we get. Let's run the query. Well, that's a long number. We'll format that in just a minute. Let me read the instructions to make sure I got everything. Ensure the payment displays as a positive number. Okay, so I didn't do that. Let's go back and fix that. And let's, I think it's Shift F2. I'm on a Mac, so it's not letting me do that. Okay, well that's fine. Let's go in here and let's scroll to term. Let's scroll to amount, and let's put a minus sign in front of that and run it again to make sure the numbers, it is now positive. All right, that's good. Let's go to, what's the next step? I got that right. Switch to design view, so let's go ahead and do that. And right over here, let's go to the properties of payment and change it to currency. kind of running off the edge here, but let me scoot this over so you can see it. I'm going, you know, I selected this column, went to properties and changed the format to currency. Run the query. Okay, so let's run it again. And now it's currency and it's a positive number, so that's great. In datasheet view, okay, so maybe we'll do one more step because students do get stuck on this. So let's do this too. The last step I'm going to do is going to show you how to do the totals row. All right, we just click on totals here. And what do we want totals for? Sum and the amount. Okay, so amount, I want this to be sum. And average interest rate and average term. So interest rate, let's pick average, and the average term, let's do average, and let's view that. Great, fantastic. There's a few more steps, but I've really done the hardest part for you. So I hope this helps. All right, good luck with that.